Welcome to The Difference TV. I'm Jacqueline Binyao. Are you somebody that is lacking in confidence? Not entirely sure exactly who you are? Feeling invisible? Or maybe a total people pleaser? And ready to give it all up and have a different experience. Now, Jane Taylor, all of those things I just mentioned, you were experiencing those things?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up as a professional tennis player. From a very young age, I did quite well at tennis. And little by little, I found that when you're good at something, you get a lot of recognition. However, throughout my journey, and my best result was reaching a third round of Australian Open, I just felt there was always something missing. I had a lot on the outside, but I just felt, something was missing inside. And as life had it, I had quite a lot of injuries throughout that experience as well. And it gave me time to reflect, but it wasn't until I retired at the 97 US Open when I really started going, there must be a different way. And I really struggled with that transition because your whole life, you're perceived to be this one person, and deep down you know it's not who you are. And so transitioning after tennis was a really, really tough time for me because I didn't know who I was.
And I'm imagining you wouldn't have wanted to disappoint people, like people seeing you in a particular way.
Absolutely. And so over that time I thought, well, what am I going to do? And ever since I was a young person, I wanted to be a teacher. So I went to uni and became a teacher, and I'm really grateful for that experience. But I was still finding that people would talk to me about tennis all the time, and I wouldn't bring it up because it just wasn't who I was. But I still found that really difficult to transition out of that process. So I did what I knew best, was avoid the whole situation and move to the Gold Coast from the Hunter Valley.
That's the way, run away!
Yeah, run away. Very good. But I loved what I did when I was teaching. And a couple of years after I was teaching, I was really lucky to get involved in the National Mental Health and Wellbeing Initiative. And throughout that time, I just started to question a lot of things and really started to go inside and spend a lot of time in meditation retreats and all that sort of stuff. And little by little, I just saw that there was a totally different person inside than what the world saw. And I promised myself after that first silent meditation retreat that I went to, I thought, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just coming out to be who I am. And if people don't like that, well, that's their choice. That's not me. I can only rock up as who I am. And so, it's been a massive journey. But one experience is when I said no to my boss for the first time. I found myself in bed for a week, because I had so much energy attached to the word no, being a people pleaser, that looking after my own needs and what I needed to do for myself was just totally on the bottom of the list. And that was a really big step for me.
Look, I would imagine that was big, if it's had you be in bed for a week. And I think making those deep changes within ourselves, like going within, discovering who you really are. And then bringing that person out can be really challenging. Like, what would you suggest are the steps for us to take to make that process a bit easier for ourselves?
I think learning to trust there's that voice within you, or that intuition, a deeper intuition, and knowing that there will be someone along the journey that will listen to you, and make the invisible visible, if that makes sense. And it's interesting, Jacqueline, because as I've shared with you, you were one of those people when I first put my name out to be in The Difference, and being interviewed by you on that phone call, I just felt like I was held and I was listened to, and it's just like, I don't know, it was a really special experience. It's like, I might have something to actually share with the world. And so it was really an emotional time for me going back into a meeting, because I jumped out of a meeting to have that conversation, and it was interesting.
That's wonderful. Thank you for saying that. And so I know that you have a philosophy about knowing yourself, liking yourself, trusting yourself. Would you mind commenting some more on that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I think through life we don't really know who we are, and I'm living my life in reverse in many ways. I achieved a lot as a young person and did a lot and all that sort of stuff, but I was missing parts of me, and it's in my second part of my life, or maybe even in my third part of my life, that I really learn and know who I am now. And I don't need to apologise for that, because I found that I was always apologising to people. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that, I'm sorry this. And it was like from a really deep held belief within me that I had to be this person. And now I know I don't have to do that. And then the next step is liking. I'm not up to the love part, maybe one day.
Liking is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And going on that adventure of learning to like yourself. But it's not sort of a sequential process. It's all very much, it all happens at the one time in many ways. And then as you start doing that process more and more, you learn to trust yourself, and you just are yourself. You don't have to please anyone or do anything. Like, you just are it, if that makes sense. You're the person that you've waited for your whole life. It's not someone else that can fulfill that need for you. It's just you.
So someone listening right now that maybe is a chronic people pleaser, what piece of advice or tip would you give as the sort of first step to take to start to let go of that people pleasing?
Yeah, I think just learning to trust yourself and creating that awareness. If you don't want to do something, I know it can be really hard to say no to people, but just start with no, not now. If no is too strong a word. It's just little steps. It doesn't have to be big steps by any means, and it's just those little incremental steps that make such a big difference. Lao Tzu talked about it. All we have to do is take that one step in that journey, and it's just little by little, and all of a sudden that you are this person that you've dreamed of, but it's because you've removed all the layers from of who you thought you were, and you just are who you are. There's no explanation for that, and realize that you matter, so your voice matters to the world.
Jane, I'm interested to know what it feels like. Like, what's it feel like? Because you have let go of what everyone else wanted you to be. You're now being true to yourself. What does that feel like?
It's scary still some days, and takes a lot of courage, but it feels amazing. It's like this whole weight's off your shoulders. You don't have to please other people. It's just like you're checking with your own needs and checking in with something that's bigger than you, and going, okay, this is where I need to go. And it changes momentarily, Jacqueline. Like, it's a moment to moment to moment thing. Like, some days I can wake up and it's like, I have planned to do this, but then it's just like something else comes in. It's like, oh, okay, no, I'm meant to do this now. So it's really that spontaneity like that comes in, but it's just like there's a flow to it, and it's an ease, and it's a grace, and it's a very deep grace. That's
such a beautiful word, number one, but feeling, I guess, that grace in your life.
And realising that there is something out there that is looking out for you, and just learning to trust that, which, many times I felt alone and all that, like I'm sure many people have. And it's just like, thinking, you read the books, there must be something bigger than me. It's like, but I'm not connected.
What is that thing?
What is that thing? And it's just like, you are it.
So if there was one final difference-making message that you could leave us with today, what would that be?
Don't ever give up until you realise that you matter and find your voice.
Oh, wow. Okay, don't ever give up until you realise you matter. Find your voice. Thank you so much, Jane. And, I'm inviting you to find your voice, never give up, know that you matter, and I'm also inviting you to live your difference. I'm Jacqueline Binyao from The Difference TV. Live your difference. www.thedifference.tv